Trump, the January Sixers need you. We are stuck in these prison cells for thousands of days without trial. We need you, Donald J. Trump. Please get in office. Run, run, run. Fight. Never surrender. The Jan Sixers stand behind you.
MSNBC knows. They not lying. Fake news. Okay, they know.
Donald Trump says there are three things he's going to do on day one if he is reelected. First, close the border. Second, drill, baby, drill. And third, free those convicted of January 6 crimes, or as he's called them in a post on social media, January 6 hostages being wrongfully imprisoned. He's flirted with releasing some in the past in speeches and in interviews, but this is the first time that I can recall, at least, that he said all of them and that he'd do it on day one. That's more than 5.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Free them.
They're trying to delete everything she said. Hey, did you ever see the Unselect Committee? The Unselect Committee on January 6th, did you see where they went and deleted and destroyed all evidence? Was deleted and destroyed. So I think, Dan, you and all of my friends here, they should be indicted for that. They destroyed evidence. You know why? Because the evidence showed that we were innocent. The evidence showed that Nancy Pelosi should have had protection at the Capitol that I offered her, and they turned it down. The evidence showed that all these stories were fake, including me wanting to grab a big, strong Secret Service agent around the neck.
Yeah. There's a lot of people need to be held accountable. Y'all know how I say it's state trooper style. Walk backwards. Walk backwards. Hands up on the floor. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. And it's a bunch of them need to be held accountable.
So something that you've been obviously on the trail of is January 6 pardons and righting the wrongs there at January 6. Now, of course, maybe you can never actually right the wrongs, but everything from restitution from the Justice Department to a pardon on day one with President Trump. How would you advise Donald Trump to approach this? And as of noting that we kicked off the show with Donald Trump's initial response saying, wait a second, what about all the January 6 political prisoners? This was Trump's reflex reaction, so it does seem to us as though Trump is gearing up for something big with January 6.
You know, after this Hunter Biden pardon, I used to say this, that Trump should pardon almost all January 6 defendants, except for the ones who were violent, and then commute their sentences, because nothing that happened on January 6th calls for a 22-year prison sentence, especially when the Biden Justice Department let BLM and Antifa and Hamas rioters cause a hell of a lot more death and destruction than what happened on January 6th. But after Hunter Biden's pardon, I say pardon them all. You know, if you're gonna pardon Hunter Biden for the last nearly 11 years with potentially raping kids and selling out our national security, I don't want to hear a damn thing from Joe Biden or Democrats about the rule of law. They can go to hell. Pardon all these January 6 defendants.
There's quite a bit of video you haven't seen, and that video tells a very different story about what happened on January 6th. More than 40,000 hours of surveillance footage from in and around the Capitol have been withheld from the public. And once you see the video, you'll understand why. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection. In fact, it demolishes that claim. And that's exactly why the Democratic Party and its allies in the media prevented you from seeing it. These were not insurrectionists, they were sightseers. Footage from inside the Capitol overturns the story you've heard about January 6th. Protesters queue up in neat little lines. They give each other tours outside the Speaker's office. They take cheerful selfies and they smile. They're not destroying the Capitol, they obviously revere the Capitol. They're there because they believe the election was stolen from them. They believe in the system. Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. These are not rioters. These are people who wandered over from a political rally.
Hey, any boys?
Y'all,
Smitty's.
y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Shout out to them beautiful patriots around the world, man. My brothers and sisters, man. Like they say, you just can't make this up, man. And I told y'all what was going to happen. Vanilla ice cream, strawberry ice cream, chocolate ice cream on the floor. Sprinkles on the floor. But let me just, before we press play, continue. I told you I saw this coming. And I felt like it might actually needed to happen. You know, just the way the Democrats did Joe. The way they kicked him to the curb. You know, they made his transmission and engine blow even faster. I mean, Joe Biden was treated unfairly. And I think he would have did better than Kamala. I don't know what her name is. They say if I don't know what her name is, I'm racist. I don't know. But I think he would have did better. And maybe those extra 5, 10, 15 million votes would have came through if Joe Biden was still on the ticket. But he was bashed and kicked to the curb and treated so unfair by those Democrats. You know? And, you know, it's a father and son relationship. Laptop out in the middle of the street. They threw the laptop out in the middle of the freeway, actually. And the crack pipe. Yes, indeed. But what do y'all think of this, man? Comment down below. Again, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Let's jump into this, y'all.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. I typically wouldn't start off a breaking news video with an old tweet from a washed-up CNN and Washington Post White House reporter named John Harwood, but man, is this ever prescient. This was posted in June. People who insist Biden will pardon Hunter after specifically ruling it out are telling on themselves. They can't imagine someone acting on principle and keeping his word. Oh, can we get any update, Mr. Journalist Man? Yes. The fraud is officially over. And I think it's important. I almost like the fact that Joe Biden pardoned Hunter because it turned Joe Biden into everything we've told you he was.
Exactly.
For the better part of the last 7 years, the better part of the last 2 decades. In fact, Joe Biden has been a venal liar who's deceived the American people and exposed now fully and thoroughly.
Yeah, a cheap fake, a deep fake. It was a cheap fake, a deep fake. That's all Democrats do is lie. It was AI edited, a cheap fake, a deep fake. What you're seeing isn't real. You know, they spin and take things out of context. They take small clips of what people have said, especially our president. They put it out on the mainstream media everywhere and just put a blank lie. You know, bias reporting, propaganda, fake news. Just been a bunch of lies, left and right, lies. Just send him out there butt naked, and we'll just say he has clothes on.
Thoroughly that the Democrat Party is a Ponzi scheme. The Democrat Party is an elite cabal of parasites who use the system to enrich themselves and protect themselves and their family. And you be damned, right? And that's the only takeaway from this, because Joe Biden has looked down the barrel of a camera time and time again and lied.
Accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is.
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
When will the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago.
Her in this binder. She wrote it down in the binder too.
And I was very clear and I said no.
Let me go back to the first question of the briefing. I know you said not a lot's changed since yesterday and that it's a personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Again, you've also said several times that the president would not pardon or commute the sentence for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
No, because no one is above the law. That's right. Except for an 11-year period where Joe Biden pardoned his son, starting with his work in Ukraine, in the largest pardon in presidential history, modern presidential history, bigger than Watergate. He pardoned Hunter Biden for 11 freaking years, going back to 2014, January 1 of 2014. That's when Joe Biden sent his dumbass son over to Ukraine to be the bag man for their corrupt criminal enterprise. Joe Biden makes history, first president to pardon his criminal son. Yeah. So it's all lies. And in a world filled with criminal liars and media propagandists like John Harwood, it's great to have a mask off moment. It's actually really refreshing to see the system for what it is. The system is not about Joe Biden loving his son. Hunter Biden is an adult. Hunter Biden is someone who is 55 years old. Hunter Biden is not some dumb kid, freshman year in high school, who just had a bad rap. Hunter Biden is a lawyer who set up a sophisticated criminal enterprise of shell companies to explicitly stop paying American taxes, millions in taxes. Hunter Biden laundered money from all around the world illegally without registering as a foreign agent. Hunter Biden is a criminal on the highest possible degree, and Joe Biden is simply pardoning himself. And I think this is really important before we move on to what Trump said about this, that this isn't about Hunter. The media would have you think that Hunter Biden is a little schoolboy who just got up with the wrong crowd. No, this is about Joe Biden. That's why the pardon goes all the way back to Ukraine. Joe Biden is trying to protect himself. He's not protecting his son. Any father who would want to protect his son would send his son to jail. Fathers would let their son, if your son is 55 years old and running an international Ponzi scheme to defraud the American public of taxes, and then doing an enormous number of degenerate sex and moral crimes, is a total and complete sex trafficker, along with a junkie, drug addict, and misusing a firearm, I think that any responsible, reasonable father would say, well, he's 55, he's a lawyer, he's going to pay his debt to society, and that's actually what love looks like. What love looks like is consequences for bad behavior. That's actual love. No, this isn't about that, because that's what actual love would look like. This is about Joe Biden pardoning himself. It's always been about Joe Biden's love of not his son, because he would never let his son get this far. You would never put your son, if he was a junkie, in charge of hundreds of millions, billions of dollars flowing in from corrupt sources like China and Ukraine. You would never do that. If you actually loved your son, you would have never put Hunter in that position. This was only about Joe Biden's love of himself. His son be damned. Joe Biden's run his son through the meat grinder again and again and again. It's because of Joe Biden that we're even in this position. So I'm disgusted by some on the right saying, oh, this is about a father's love for his son and we shouldn't care about it. Nope. Wrong on all fronts. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone was saying the same thing about this decision by Joe Biden, that this makes it so much easier for Donald Trump to pardon J6ers. Hunter Biden's pardon is a gift to J6ers. It makes pardoning every single one of them so much easier and acceptable.
Free them.
Yes.
Free them.
Truly.
And I don't want to hear nothing. We free them. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. Yeah.
Everyone's saying that Donald Trump should, in day one, walk in and say, blanket pardon all J6ers, enough is enough. And lo and behold, Donald Trump hopping on Truth Social with this take last night right on time. Does the pardon given by Joe and Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been imprisoned for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. Donald Trump stepping up. The only comment that he's made about this pardon, Donald Trump saying, yeah, what about J6? What about the January 6th political prisoners? Joe Biden has only ever cared about himself. Joe Biden has used his position in power to persecute and terrorize Americans, innocent Americans, who, via their own constitutional rights to redress their government, their grievances, decided to march peacefully and patriotically to the United States Capitol. And Joe Biden has tortured those people, some of them grandmothers, for years now. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's dumbass kid, who is on every conceivable level a criminal degenerate, convicted criminal degenerate, is going to skip free. Why? Not because of Joe Biden's love for his son. His son would have never been in this position in the first place if Joe Biden actually loved him, but because of Joe Biden's love for himself. It is a sick ending chapter, but it makes us right. And so on some level, I don't even mind it because it makes us right. This is how much Joe Biden hates his party. He just guaranteed that Democrats will never be able to complain about anything Donald Trump does at the DOJ, ever. That's right. Joe Biden gave Trump the ammunition to pardon every single J6er that he has the power to. That's right. Nate Silver saying he's a selfish and senile old man. The White House consistently lied about this Biden's stubborn insistence on running for re-election. It was perhaps the singular most important factor in Trump 2.0, and now he's kicking salt in the wound of the party brand he helped destroy. President Trump, you now have overwhelming justification to pardon all J6 defendants with the stroke of a pen. And this is just two catastrophically bad decisions at the end of 5 decades of patriotic service, seeking re-election and pardoning his son. Joe Biden has transformed his net impact on America to a positive to a negative. This is, of course, one of the most generous takes on it. I would disagree with 5 decades of service. You don't suddenly turn bad after 50 years. Joe Biden created false mythology of a lot of well-meaning Americans fell for, and his own decency and honesty and family values. He used his motherless, injured baby boy as a prop in a...
Shout out to everybody tagging me in this right now. Everybody's tagging me in everything, man, especially on Twitter. I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna start getting real. I know a lot of y'all been asking me to get consistent on Twitter and get my check mark. You know, because I know I'm consistent on Instagram, but I'm definitely gonna get on Twitter, man, more and more, because I see a lot of you guys been showing me a lot of love. Y'all been tagging me in everything right now, boy. So we're definitely gonna get more consistent on Twitter or X. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, shout out to Elon. You know, shout out to Elon, baby. We saved America, freedom. But this is an absolute disgrace, man. You know, but I told you what was coming. You knew this was coming. Y'all knew this was coming. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For me find out Joe put that Trump hat on for a reason. He backstabbed Kamala for a reason. Yeah. He said, I'm gonna do what I want. The way y'all did me, Uncle Joe. Yeah. Oh man, but this is a disgrace, y'all. Trump, when you walk back in there, I'm telling you, Trump gonna stroke his hand through that mullet. Y'all know that mullet? And he gonna look to the left, look to the right. He gonna pull out that paperwork and he gonna go free. And I'm for it. Free him. I've been saying free him for a long time. Free him. Free him. Free him. They done threw the laptop out in the middle of the street. They done threw the crack pipes. They threw the gun out in the middle of the street. One in the chamber as well. Yeah. Free him.
Photo to further his political career. That says it all. And we've been playing that image on the show again and again and again. A blanket pardon for every single crime he ever committed in the last decade. F that. It's time to put Joe and James Biden and everybody else in this garbage family in prison for the rest of their miserable lives. Jared Polis, he's a big-time Democrat governor from Colorado, spoke at the DNC convention. This is bad precedent that will be abused. I'm disappointed that he put his family ahead of his country. This will tarnish his reputation. Yeah, Joe Biden down bad, and everyone's saying, oh, wow, would you look at that? It's exactly the Burisma timeline. So it's what Joe Biden did for himself. That's the story here.
Oh, Joe.
Nothing else. People are losing it on Joe Biden. If you pardon Hunter, I'll be able to pardon all the J6 guys, and we can piss off literally everyone at once. Well, only one of those individuals and one of those groups of people deserve to be pardoned, and now it looks like Donald Trump, who, when we were at Mar-a-Lago a week ago, played the J6 choir for everyone. It's clearly Donald Trump has not forgotten January 6 political prisoners. Trump played Justice for All, patriotic song that he recorded with J6 prison choir. Trump is actually featured on the song, and everybody stood. This was the first song that Donald Trump played when we were at dinner with him. So I think this is a defiant message that President Trump, that political prisoners, we have not forgotten you. Hold on, justice is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Justice is coming.
It's coming, baby.
It's boy Benny. You know what? It might be bad for the country, but we're glad we were right. Listen to people who were right. Listen to people who told you the truth. And Joe Biden is a venal, degenerate liar who's only out to protect himself. His son be damned. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.
Woo! Just like that, y'all. And I'm glad we get to report it to you live. We told you. I told you. I tried telling you. I told y'all a long time ago what this was, man. And it feels good being right. It feels good being on the right side. God bless them beautiful patriots around the world. Free them. Prayers for Trump and his family, his team, his campaign, his cabinet. We don't know what to expect next. We ain't made it to January yet. But Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to y'all, man. I love y'all. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, y'all.